Fixza's ramshackle hut was precariously built with old planks and the remnants of her failed inventions. She painstakingly pointed out each one to him the first day, giving overly detailed stories of their glorious demises. After that, she'd seized hold of the metal scrap he'd been trying to make into a weapon. He did not react favorably to that, but she'd brushed off his anger. Again. She'd been working on his weapon since. He quickly grew bored and started fixing the hut to be less flimsy and have a little more headroom. If she was going to drag him here every day, he wanted to be able to stand up if he wanted. Maybe move around, but certainly not have it collapse on them with a stiff breeze. "It's all done," she said, pumping a triumphant fist into the air with a little hop. He'd paused to look at her when she spoke, his hammer poised halfway to a sturdy piece of driftwood he was using for framework. There was a square of grease-stained cloth over something bulky on her workbench. "Crald," his father called out before Crald could say anything. The man's balding head with storm gray hair poked into the hut. "It's late, and dinner is getting cold." "Yes, sir," he said, putting the hammer down. Then he looked over to Fixza. Her smile was beaming, and she waved at Crald's father. "Hello, Mr. Crald." His father dipped his head to her. "Hello, Fixza, you should probably go home. I'm sure dinner is waiting for you too." "Oh, this is my home. When the boat my parents were on sank, Mr. Revilgas said I could stay here," she said brightly. Both of the orcs grew still. "You're alone?" Crald asked. "Yeah, but that's okay now because you come and visit every day. The last week has been the best. That's why I wanted to help you make your weapon." Her smile was wide and genuine. Crald wanted to crawl in on himself for how he'd been acting. "I see," his father said. "In that case, you should come eat with us. We have plenty." Crald's brows furrowed because he knew that wasn't true, but the look on his father's face meant there was nothing he could say to stop him. Not that he wanted to. "Wow, thanks, Mr. Crald," she said, then skipped over to them. "Usually I just end up eating whatever the fishmongers can't sell, so I bet this'll be loads better." Mirrored grimaces passed between the two orcs before Crald spoke again. "Yes, I imagine it will be." They'd both seen what the fishmongers usually had left over, and it was a miracle Fixza was still alive. They all exited the hut, then started walking toward the small one-room dwelling their family lived in. "It's been nice, not being alone anymore," she said, her voice small. Crald stumbled. It was the first time she'd been anything but tusk-grindingly cheerful. Something fierce bloomed in his chest, like nothing he'd experienced before. "Well, you won't be, not as long as I'm around." He might have imagined it, but he thought he saw her quickly wipe at her eyes. "Thanks, Crald, I knew we were going to be great friends." Thanks for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night.